right, let's go through the solutions for worksheet 10-3 on composite figures. All right, so here's the first problem. All right, we have a shape that looks like a combination of a long rectangle and a square. All right, so we want to find the area of the smaller sections. We're going to divide this off by drawing a segment right there. So now we're going to create a square here and then a long rectangle there. All right, so the square, we'll do that in blue, and then the long rectangle we will do in red, so we can kind of keep those separate. All right, so the long rectangle is easy because we've already got the dimensions for it. So this long rectangle here, it tells us has a length of 12 and then a width of 2. All right, so length times width on that rectangle is going to be 12 times 2, or equal to 24 square units. Okay, so that's pretty simple. All right, the square, we have one side of it here. All right, and then we want to make sure that it is actually a square. That means that this side here would have to be 4. Well, how do we find that when they didn't give it to us up here? Well, we know the entire thing is 12. From here to here is 5, and from here to here is 3. So 5 and 3 is 8, so that leaves 4. If we take 8 away from 12, that means that this section has a length of 4 to complete that entire side. So that means it is in fact a square. So area of the blue portion is just going to be length times width again, or 4 times 4, or 4 squared, which is equal to 16. All right, so now we're going to add those two individual areas together to give us the area of the composite figure. So 24 plus 16 will equal 40 square units. All right, let's take a look at the second problem here. Kind of looks like an ice cream cone shape. So if we divide it up into a semicircle or half a circle on top, and then the bottom portion is going to be a triangle. All right, so they tell us the length from one side of the semicircle to the other is going to be 4. So that's the diameter of this half circle. All right, so in order to find that area, which we'll shade in blue, okay, that area is going to be the area of a circle with a diameter of 4, and then we're going to take half of that because we only want half the circle. All right, so let's do that first. So area of this portion, the diameter is 4. Area of a circle is pi r squared. And then we want to divide it by 2 because we only want half the circle. All right, so the radius is half the diameter, so radius is going to be 2. So 2 squared times pi over 2. All right, we're going to simplify that, square the 2, so you've got 4 pi over 2, and then we can simplify. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so this is just equal to 2 pi. Okay, the triangle portion, all right, we'll do in red. All right, now we could find the area of this right triangle here and then double it, or we can just find the area of the whole triangle because they give us the base, which is 4, and then they give us the perpendicular height, which is 5. So we're just going to find the area of this entire region here because they give us the base and the height already. All right, so remember, area for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So that's 1/2 times the base, which is 4, times the height, which is 5. Okay, so the area of the triangular area, or triangular region, all right, is 4 times 5 is 20, and then times 1/2, that's equal to 10. All right, so now we need to add those two together. So we need to add together 2 pi to 10. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So the area, total area, is going to be 2 pi plus 10. All right, so we're going to do it on our calculator and then try not to round off until the very end so we get the most accurate answer. So we're going to do 2 times, and we're going to use the pi key, so it gives us the full value, equals, so there's the area of the semicircle, and then we're just going to simply add 10 to that, and so we're rounded off to the first decimal place, which is what the question asked. Our final answer will be approximately 16.3. All right, make sure you're rounding to one decimal place. It's 16.28, so the number after the 10th place is 5 or more, so we round up, so it should be 16.3. All right, so on the third problem, we have a composite figure where instead of adding two areas together, we are going to subtract one area from the other. All right, so we have a rectangle, and then we want to subtract out the circle. Okay, so the area that they want, we'll do in blue. Okay, so this is the area that they want to find. And they want to not include the circular area, which we'll do in red. Okay, so only the area of the blue is what we want to find here. So let's go ahead and do the entire rectangle first. Okay, so the entire rectangle gives us the length and the width, so 18 by 8. So let's find that first. Length times width. All right, so in our calculator, if you can't do that in your head, 18 times 8 is equal to 144. All right, so there's the area of the entire rectangle, including that circular area. All right, now we need to find the area of the circular area so we can subtract it from that total area. All right, so they give us the radius, so that's pretty simple. Area of the circle is going to be equal to pi r squared. So radius it gives us, which is 3, so we're going to square it, and then we're going to multiply that times pi. Okay, so 9 pi is going to be the area of our circle. All right, now we'll wait until the end to go ahead and multiply it by pi, so that way we can get the most accurate answer before we round. They want it rounded to the nearest 10th place. All right, so now I need to subtract the area of the circle from the area of the entire rectangle. So we're going to subtract those two, and we'll do that in blue because that's the one that they're looking for. So I want 144 minus 9 pi, area of the rectangle minus the area of the circle. All right, so I've already got 144 in my calculator, so I'm going to hit minus, and then I'm going to use parentheses here just to make sure that we multiply 9 times pi first before we subtract from 144. So I'm going to go parentheses 9 times the pi key, okay? Don't use 3.14. And then I'm going to close parentheses. And so that's what 9 pi is equal to right there. That's the area of my circle. And then when I hit equals, it'll subtract that number from the original 144. And we are left with 115.72. All right, they want it rounded to the nearest 10th place. So that means our final answer should have been 115.7. Okay, on the last one, we have a rectangular shape, all right, but there's a piece missing from that rectangular shape. All right, so in order to find the area of this shape here, we want to find the area of the entire rectangle, all right, as if this piece was not missing. So let's go ahead and connect this up and make it a full rectangle. And then we're going to find the area of that red piece here, and that's the piece that we're going to subtract from the entire rectangle to give us just the black area. Okay, so let's first find the area of the entire thing. So we've got a rectangle that has a length of 6 and a width of 3. Okay, so the area of the entire complete rectangle is going to be length times width, which is equal to 18. All right, Now we have to find the area of this triangular piece that's missing and then subtract that from the total. All right, so this entire side, it tells us, has a width of 3. Over here, from here to here, it says there's only 2. So what's left here? Well, that has a length of 1, so 1 plus 2 is 3. Same thing on the bottom. I've got a width or a length of 6. Here, from here to here is 5, so what's left? Also 1. So my triangle has legs of 1 and 1. All right, so if it's a right triangle and the 2 legs are the same, then what kind of triangle is it? Well, it's an isosceles right triangle, which means it's a 45, 45, 90. Right? So if it's a 45, 45, 90, right? So if the legs are 1, then that means that this here is to equal to square root of 2. Now we don't need that, but a quick reminder of our right triangle review is always good. All right, so what we really need is just need length, base times height. So area of triangle is the base times the height. It's a right triangle, remember, so it's just basically leg times 1/2, okay? So that's gonna be 1 times 1, so 1 times 1 is 1, times 1/2, so the area of that triangle is just simply 1/2, okay? So I need to subtract the area of the whole rectangle from the missing piece, which is 1/2. So the area of the part that we want is going to be 18 minus 1/2, or 17.5. Okay, so there's the solutions for all 4 problems on worksheet 10-3. So please make sure you go back in if you haven't already and re-enter the correct answers and resubmit, so that way you receive full credit for the assignment.